Yo, what's up guys, it's Aptrex here and welcome to the ultimate Nintendo Switch emulation on low-end Android device test. This right here is the iQOO Z6 Lite. You have already seen the unboxing and it comes with Snapdragon 4 Gen 1 processor and Adreno 619 GPU. Well, in the thumbnail you might have seen I have written 4GB RAM ? That's because the available RAM on this device is only 34%, even though I have almost no apps running in recents. Only 2GB of RAM is available. You get the same amount of available RAM on 4GB RAM Android devices, and this specific device also comes with an 4GB variant Snapdragon 4 Gen 1 processor. So in today's video we'll be doing a Nintendo Switch emulation test. For that we'll be using Yuzu Emulator Android with these settings. Dock mode will enable it for now. Resolution keep it at 0.75x. Disk shader catch force maximum clocks Adreno only, and asynchronous shaders have been enabled. Let's go back to the debugging options. Fast memory has been turned on because we'll be only testing out Pokemon games, and I have also went back and disabled dock mode as I want to get the best amount of FPS possible from Yuzu Emulator Android. To start off, we'll be emulating Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, as it should run on an low-end Android device. Now many of you guys were telling me in my previous video that how can you consider Snapdragon 4 Gen 1 low-end device? I have Helio P60 processor, I have Helio P22 processor. Bro, that's not an low-end Android device, that's literally dead-end Android device. Seriously, because it cannot even handle Nintendo 3DS emulation properly. So how do you expect Nintendo Switch emulation to be flawless on such low-end Android devices? If you ask me the best low-end Android device of 2023 to emulate Nintendo Switch games, then I would include iQOO Z6 Lite in it. And in the title screen you can notice I'm getting around 15 to 20 FPS. Well, that's not really great, because even if I have an low-end device, Yuzu Emulator should be providing way better FPS, and let's not forget that I get only around 11 FPS even on my OnePlus 11 with Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor. By the way, if you guys own iQOO Z6 Lite, then let me know in the comment section down below, and once all the cutscenes are completed, you will notice that the game is pretty playable, at least inside house. But as soon as we leave the house, we get almost 5 to 6 FPS, which cannot be considered as playable, but it's due to the Yuzu emulator's terrible performance. And you can also notice the graphics aren't really looking good because of the 0.5x resolution. So inside house you will get playable results 20 to 25 FPS. But let's switch on over to Skyline Edge version 69. And by the way, one thing which I noticed about the Nintendo Switch emulation on this specific low-end device is that my emulator was not really crashing. Nintendo Switch emulation process is pretty smooth. I have also enabled a custom GPU driver, which is Mesa Turnip Adreno driver. Direct memory import has been disabled as it was giving me black screen. Fast GPU readback and writes has been enabled along with free cache texture memory. So let's jump right into Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu gameplay test on Skyline Emulator Android. By the way, I am using the same save file on both these emulators, and you'll immediately notice that the game loading speed is pretty quick, like within just few seconds. That's what I love about Skyline Emulator. It doesn't really take much time to load the game. And in the title screen we aren't really getting impressive results, but let's just go ahead and tap on continue adventure. And there we go, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu has successfully started. Now I am guessing my camera wasn't focused before, so it was appearing blurry, but now you can see this game is being emulated at 1x graphics resolution. But unfortunately the game just crashed. That's a problem related to Skyline Emulator Android specifically, but I am pretty sure outside house you should be able to get at least 10 to 15 FPS, because Skyline is way more optimized, and you will be surprised at how better it performs when you see Pokemon Sword gameplay. As you know, Pokemon Sword is considerably higher end game compared to Let's Go Pikachu. It has lot of open world scenarios, lot of cutscenes, and once we start the game, it didn't take much time to load, by the way, only few seconds even on a low-end Android device. You will notice we are getting more FPS than what we were getting in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu inside house at least. And yeah, I am using an custom Turnip Adreno driver, don't forget that. It will also improve your performance. Now during cutscenes it again performs amazingly. I'll compare it with the Yuzu Emulator Android Pokemon Sword gameplay, which I'll be showing you guys after a few minutes. But right now in Skyline Emulator you can see the game is running perfectly fine, no graphical issues whatsoever, 1x resolution, way better than I can't really say way better because I haven't tested this game on Yuzu yet. So let's exit the house, and there we go. the FPS is increasing gradually. So I was getting 8 FPS, but now it's increased to 15 FPS, which can be considered playable. To be honest guys, I'm really impressed from the performance we are getting and the amount of playable games that we have. Nintendo Switch emulation on Snapdragon 4 series should never be possible, but it is indeed possible due to the optimizations of emulators and also processors being way better. But now in Yuzu Emulator Android in Pokemon Sword, you can immediately notice that we are getting around 8 to 16 FPS inside house, which is not playable. Now that's because all the shaders are being compiled. I have enabled disk shader cache, so it takes some time to compile shaders. After the game starts, if you wait for few seconds and let the shaders get compiled, then the experience will be way better, I believe. And as I was saying, in my old days, Snapdragon 450 processor wasn't even able to emulate 3DS games, but Snapdragon 4 series nowadays can run Nintendo Switch games on Android. So if you guys have a low-end device of 2023 which does not have MediaTek processor, it should be fine with Nintendo Switch emulation, and it will work even if you just have 4 to 6 GB of RAM. I know the minimum requirements of Skyline and Yuzu both say that you need Snapdragon 855 processor or above along with 8 GB of RAM, but that's just their minimum requirements for playable FPS. If you don't consider playable FPS, then the requirements go way below. And after testing Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Sword, I can say that Skyline Emulator is the best Nintendo Switch emulator for low-end Android devices. That's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like button as I upload similar videos on my channel. See you guys next time. Goodbye.